Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Chris Infante, aka the Superman of Fitness. Most of sports rehab therapist at True Training in North Richland Hills, and also a midnight model. I'm here working with Crystal, one of the athletes working on knee rehab today. So today we work on techniques to one, assess the knee, then also to help the knee not have pain or help the knee through injury. And also get to see if we're working with tendonitis or just a mid-tracking of the knee. Okay, so when you first start off with an assessment, one thing you want to do is ask a question. So where do you normally feel pain and why?
So usually it's my ankle, my knee, and now and then my back as well.
Okay, so ankle in the front or behind?
Right on the side and the behind.
Okay, and the knee, where's that knee pain usually happening?
Right here.
Here in the front.
Mhm.
Okay, and the back is where in the back?
Right here.
Okay, all right, so one thing when you want to do an assessment is ask the questions, but also look at where the pain is happening. A lot of times, based on joint by joint theory, right? So our joints don't work independently of each other. They work with the top one and with the one below. They all work together. So with a knee pain, a lot of times knee pain is a symptom, not the problem. Right? The root problem is most likely here at the ankle or here at the hip. With back pain, a lot of time back pain is here at the hip or also at the glute. So what we don't want to do for an assessment is do something like a load assessment first, right? A load assessment are like squats, weighted, lunges. I don't want to say do the movement that hurts you because we're not sure what we're dealing with yet. I'm not sure if it's tendinopathy or a mid-tracking of the knee, which I'll bring Frank to help show you guys what that mean by that. But so now we're going to do an assessment laying down on the bench and kind of see how it looks and how it's tracking. So what we're doing right here is called a Faber test. So I want to check the hip mobility, right? So lay down on your back. You do this on the floor. I like doing this on a bench. One, because I have better visibility. I can easily track and measure what I'm seeing. So we look at the injured knee first, and then we compare the non-injured knee, or the knee that has pain on it. Okay, so what I want to do is take her ankle and put it on her other knee, right? And then say, relax, calmate, right? So now in a relaxed state, how's that knee looking? The first thing I notice is her hips shift. So I want to make sure I could push on the hip here so we get a natural state. So the hip shifts inside, we get a different reading, right? Here on the hip, look how high this knee is, right? Now, only reason why it will be a good or bad thing, it's a good thing if both knees are like this, right? This means just a total inflexibility, which is not a bad thing, right, necessarily. But if one knee is really high, the other knee is lower, then we're looking at a big instability, right, mobility-wise. So right here, we got a pretty big difference, like more than a fist and a thumb away from the knee. Right, so it's a pretty big difference in the hip rotation. So we relax this, take the other one, and now relax. So now we see this is still, right, one, naturally flatter hips, okay? So that tells me there is an instability in this right hip, right, and extra tight on the top glute, because it wants to raise up. This one's very naturally staying low, right? But we still have, right, instability in the hip here anyway, lack of mobility, because this knee isn't as good. So we know we're dealing with, one, a lack of mobility issue in the hips, right? But now how we dissect that a little more, I get more granular, is looking at what happens when we do the Faber test, what happens to the hip rotation. Right, so now I need to check to see if there's a hip rotation in there, and we can diagnose that with some of the tests that we're gonna do later on. Now what I wanna do is I wanna check to see if there's pressure tested, right? So instead of doing a squat, I wanna pressure test it with my body. So I'm gonna put her foot on my shoulder, okay? Because we need to have flexion with the toe as well. That's what happens when we squat, right? The foot doesn't stay flat, it bends. So first thing I'm gonna do is push here at the heel and ask, any pain? No, okay. Then we'll push my shoulder down on the toe. Any pain there?
No.
No? Uncomfortable?
A little bit, yes.
Where at?
Right about here. Yep.
Okay. In the hip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So a lot of times, this part here, we look for an impingement in the hip, which is an easy fix we can do for stabilization, right? So maybe you start seeing, is the hip rotated? Is it a pinched? Do you need any isolation stabilization for it? So you have these notes marked down that we're looking for. Again, we still don't know what we're looking at, but now we're kind of getting the clues. Same thing with the other leg. You want to always test both, right? Important to do that, you have a barrier. You have, anytime you test something, you need a test group.
Right.
Same thing?
Yes.
On the hip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it more when your toes flexed, or is it the same?
Yes, it feels more.
Okay. Here's something that you see with uneven hips is the transverse abdominis. So if you wear a weight belt, right, the transverse abdominis is like your weight belt. It goes from here, it goes around. So a lot of times someone has a weak core or issue with their hip flexors, they're gonna feel a pull here and weakness in the back, okay? That belt that we have here is one of the first thing that goes as we get older, right? But also, for athletes, if this isn't strong or if there's too much tension on the back or the front, something gives, right? A lot of times, the IT band to the pull, right here to the front. So now we need to do another test for internal and external rotation of the knee, okay? So again, start with the bad knee first. So I'm gonna take this knee and I'm gonna internally rotate the knee, which means the foot goes out and the knee goes in, right? I'm looking for a couple things, right? One, good internal rotation, which means this here, right? We're about like 30 degrees rotation. It's good, but what happens to the hip? Once I start here, hips in neutral, start moving as soon as I take it out, and yes, the hip's going higher before it even gets to outside rotation, okay? So you can tell how impinged that hip is. Now I'm feeling for any movement in this knee as well, which I'm feeling as well. How does it feel?
I feel it right here.
Okay.
It goes down.
Okay. So what I just said, we're getting some of that right now, right? Hip impingement is going down that transverse abdominis, going all across the other side. All right, so let's see what happens when we externally rotate the knee. When you squat, your body's going through these internal and external rotations all the time. When you do lunges, the body's doing this. It may not look like this, but that's what it's doing. Is that uncomfortable?
A little bit.
Okay. Ain't afraid to breathe. Oxygen's free. All right. Where's it uncomfortable at?
It feels actually better, like a release pressure right here instead of that same pain that I was feeling right now.
Okay, good. So what we're seeing is that the body's right now having trouble with internal rotation. Okay, that's the weakness. So we need help getting to that external rotation because the body wants to go in. We need help bringing it out here to release this impingement. So let's see right now. Inside. How does that feel?
And I don't feel it the same, no.
Okay, good. Got a little easier internal rotation that side too. External rotation, we should be able to get to almost like she's sitting down, seated. There you go. And that, you feel the fight already in IT band. Where do you feel this at?
Over here.
Okay. All right, good. So now we have some check marks, right? We know we have some hip immobility issues with a pinching happening in the front, okay? Which is affecting the transverse abdominis going here to the front and to the sides. All right, so now something we could check off on the hips. Now we need to check what's happening below the knee. Okay, so again, now you have to test the ankle, right? Below the knee. So not generally the ankle, actually everything literally below the knee, right? Includes your tibialis as well. And even your, right? Because the foot should be stable. Is it stable joint. But if your foot's moving around too much, it means your ankle's unstable. So you need to check that out. So I'm gonna take off my shoes. Whoops, stay. So what I wanna do is see how my ankle flexibility is, my ankle mobility. So I'm gonna do a 5-inch test. Pinky to thumb to box, okay? Here's my show off side. So my goal is to get my knee to touch this box, keeping my heel on the ground, okay? So I'm gonna come forward. Right now, I can get pretty close to the box right now, okay? Come back. I'm gonna do the same thing with my left. Now, for context, I got hit by a car on a bicycle, and my kneecap and most of the things are broken. My kneecap got shattered in half. Is that an excuse? Yes. How ugly this is gonna be. So as I go forward, this is how far I can go forward with my left knee. I'm getting a pulling on my ankle and restriction near my Achilles, right? But this would be considered a problem, okay? So we're doing squats and doing deadlifts. I might experience back pain because I have limited mobility in this leg, which also limits my ability to go down in a squat effect, okay? My knee can track properly across my ankle. So knees over toes isn't a bad thing, by the way. That's how our body moves, especially if you get down in a little squat. That's how athletes move. So I want to see the difference in this knee compared to this or ankle, compared to the other ankle, to see how close it gets, but also the restrictions in my mobility and how that affects different parts of my body and different movements going forward. Okay, now we're gonna check Crystal's ankle mobility. So first thing we're gonna do is put your fist down and thumb out, and we're gonna do the injured knee first. Down, good, chesticles up. Okay, now you're gonna drive your knee over your toe, trying to touch that box. Make sure your heel stays on the ground. That's pretty good. That's pretty good looking. Okay, now switch sides. Cracking going on. All right, now again. Okay, perfect. So what we see is a good thing, right? So we don't have any ankle mobility issues going forward, all right? But now what we're gonna see for the tibialis going in, now we need to check the other part of the ankle mobility. Okay, so one of the major things we have to look at is our ankle mobility, right? And the ankle doesn't only move forward and back, it also needs to move inside as well, okay? Now to do this test, we gotta see, make sure that our foot is going inside, right? Without rotating the foot up like this, right? We wanna come up, cross, and down. This knee shouldn't be going inside. That changes the whole test in general. I go further if I do that, all right? So again, this knee got broken in half, okay? And grew back like a mountain. So this knee already has some structural integrity issues. So which is gonna affect everything else. It's kind of cool to see actually how it affects my ankle mobility, even though I was still considered a pretty good athlete right now. So for safety, I put my hands here so this knee doesn't move. I'm gonna lift it up. I'm gonna turn my foot inside, place my toe down, okay? Same thing here. Lift the foot up, turn inside, and down. Now, if you're being funny and say, I thought you moved your toe, I did move it, but it barely moved inside. So you see, one foot's doing gang signs, one foot's saying hello. So I wanna try to get this foot as flexible or mobile as my right foot. Right now, I'm not even close there, right? I want my goal is to have my toes move outside the toe box, which means my peak toe should be able to move outside where my toe was. So I'm trying to replace my peak toe, my toe, right? With this one, my big toe, it replaces my big toe. So that's an issue. And that's what I want to see. So you have this issue, you can get a pull on the tibia and a pull right here in the knee, right? Also, pressure you put on that patella tendon going down, right? Because it's connected to these two bones come down here, right? So if you don't have proper mobility inside and out, right? Especially in lateral movement, that's when you end up getting those shift in that pop. While your knee doesn't like to go side to side, right? This protects your knee from going side to side movement. If you're not flexible, then that defeats the purpose. All right, so now what we want to do is put pressure inside this leg, all right? And I want you to stand up tall, sit up tall, and lift this foot up and turn your toe inside, much as you can, and then place it down. Good, make sure that knee is straight. Okay, now same thing with the left. Up and in. Okay, so one thing we definitely want to see, right? You want to see the pinky toe replace the big toe, right? Then also, if there is immobility, is it the same immobility on both sides? So we're seeing a higher immobility on the left side. Redo it again, please. So I'm trying to see, first thing I'm trying to see is this pinky toe over here, right? This is a check. The pinky toe kind of tracks over. A little bit inside, but on this left side, looks like me a little bit, right? That big toe is barely moving over, right? So we see immobility going inside, which put a lot of pressure on the outside of that knee. That's something that we need to work on, okay? So we're good going forward and back, side to side, not so great. So now we start doing the second part of the test, right? We now need to make sure whether we have tendinopathy or not. So which means structural integrity of the tendon, inflammation of the tendon. So which usually happens right here. And there's an easy way to test. Hopefully you don't have it. But if that is the case, the whole thing changes in how we treat this. So here's my homeboy, Frank, right? Frank helps me with all my athletes, kind of show them what's happening to their body, what's going wrong, how one body part affects the other. So here on Frank, right? Look at Frank's knee. So Frank's knee has a tracking system. See this groove here? We have tendons that go down the groove. So a lot of times knee pain at the bottom can be attributed to a tendon that starts here. So our quads intersect right to the top of this knee and go down to our patellar tendon, which is right here, okay? That tendon is affected by our tibialis muscle, right, and also our ankle flexibility. So we need to see the ankle, right, is a joint that's mobile, okay? So it needs to be able to move up and down, back and forth. It also moves internally and externally. That doesn't happen, we're putting pressure on the knee, okay? Hip, same as well. Hip has to be mobile. If your hip can't move, or if one hip is hiked up, you create an unstable movement, right? So the knee is forced to move. Knee doesn't want to move. If you don't see a knee move, usually MCL, LCL, PCL, ACLs being blown out the water. We don't want that. We want to keep that intact. So the mobility at these two joints help the stability of this joint. So we're going to test this today and see where that is, right? And in the back, again, we want to look at the lats here and how this affects the lower back. But a lot of times when you see knee pain with back pain, the hip is out of alignment. So I'm just something to test my theory. When I'm doing rehab, I never ever want to go into there thinking I know what I'm looking at. Everything is a theory, everything is a test, because I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I gotta be able to humble myself and say, I'm wrong, let me look at it differently, okay? So my big thing right now, I wanna see hips are tracking, knees tracking, looking at tendinitis, or if our ankles are really stiff. Thanks, Frank. Okay, so now we're gonna move to the load assessment, right? Load assessment means body weight load, right? So you need to have weight to have a load assessment, okay? So first we're gonna do a regular squats, all right? I'm looking for knee tracking, how the knee places, and also looking for how she feels pain-wise. Just coming down here and up, chest up, sitting back. I want the weight on your big toe, pinky toe, and heel, sitting back into that, pushing through that big toe, pinky toe, and heel. I don't want to see the weight shift either to the front or the back. I want to see even like a tripod. Okay? Let's see it.
I heard that.
Oh, yeah. It's talking to me. So what I'm looking for here right now is I'm looking for, one, are the heels moving? So we saw before there's a lack of internal rotation of the ankle, right? I'm seeing that already because, so you can turn to the side, please. Feel a little wider. There we go. If we start squatting down, the toes, come back up. The toes want to move in. So squat. Heel starts moving offline and the ankles start rotating in, right? And this is because there's lack of stability internally in the ankle. Squat again. And the left one, which one had the problem, is turning in a lot. Can you actually turn towards me? Squat again. You can see how when you're down here, the ankle is on at an angle, right? Where we should have, like a mirror, squatting here, stability straight through and straight lines coming through, right? Instead of having this come in like that, okay? So this part of assessment is good to see structurally what's happening, but also, and what was your pain level on this?
Me, probably about a 4 or 5.
4 or 5? Okay. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is going to do the single leg assessment. So now we saw that we had level 4 pain in the squat. So we're going to add more load to the squat now by doing a single leg squat. So a lot of times someone has pain in a knee. What I want to do is be like the Geppetto, right? Of the Pinocchio. Oh, that's good, very good. I want to mold you. I want to make sure you're safe. So I'm going to be behind you at all times doing the single leg squat. I don't know whether it needs you to give out. I don't know whether you're going to feel weak and fall. I want to make sure that you're protected while doing it. So what I want to see is a single leg squat, okay? Single leg squats are essential to any athletic movement. This is done in every sport. Is a version of a single leg squat, jumping, running, right? Lateral, swimming, everything. So we're going to come down here as low as you can go and back up. Now, this is me kind of showing off my right leg, right? Again, this right leg wasn't injured, but my chest staying up, butt is sitting back. I'm pushing through my whole foot. Now let's get ugly. Now here, the issue with this one is there's a lack of stability in the ankle and in the knee because of the injury, right? So when I go down, first thing happens is I start shifting down here and up, right? Come down. So I have the strength, but I don't have the stability. If you notice, I shift here to my left, issue 1, right? And then my knee wants to start tracking in. So really to see what happens with Crystal, but also see if there's pain associated to that misalignment and tracking of the knee. So, come on. All right, so let's do the bad knee first. What I'm gonna do here first is step up on the side, and I'm gonna get behind her. So I know this leg is gonna be up, right? So come back here. I'm gonna have a guiding hand back here. So swap, as you can get, and up. Getting about three more of those. I already start seeing that heel, that ankle moving, that toe coming off the ground. And 2 more.
Yeah, I can't go lower than that.
And pain or instability?
A little bit of pain and instability.
Okay. Is the pain more or the same as the double leg squat?
It's about
The same?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's see the other leg. Noticing already is the shift in weight, right? The shift not coming down even. Doing this, right? Let's be with a friend, have a guide here on the hip. So right on top of the butt, lower back, going down. And that guide should be like a soft touch. So she starts losing control, see more? And you kind of push back without really affecting the muscles. Yeah, I got you. I won't let you die.
Maybe.
See more?
Here. At this point, it becomes weaker and I can't even control it.
And we see that because look what's happening to the toe and the knee as you do this. One more time. Try it again. Back, chest forward. There you go. That's all. Good. All right. Any pain associated with that?
No.
No?
The pressure on the knee, but no stopping.
Okay. Just felt unstable?
Yeah.
Okay. So now there's something to work with, right? So now we see the same amount of stress added on the knee, the same level, which is a good thing, right? We're kind of checking off the box that it is tendinopathy, right? So we need to do one more test and make sure if that's true or not. The next assessment is higher load, right? The highest load we're going to have with body weight, it's going to be jumping. My dad says yumping. All right, so when we yump, I don't need a full body squat coming up and down, being more of an athletic jumping style. So you can start here and coming up, right? We're looking to see is how the body reacts, or knee reacts, coming down on that load, how there's pressure happening with the knee, right? So right now, I'm showing you a couple demo jumps, how it looks here. Boom, come down. And I want up down, back and forth, instead of holding here. You don't want to restay and readjust. You want to right into it. Okay, so now Chris is going to show us how her jumping is. And again, I want it back to back. Don't jump, reset, right back to back, okay? There's a sharp pain off the bat. Stop. You don't feel pain after like 3 or 4. Let's go into it, okay? So step out, feet width apart. Let's eat it. Back down, up. Back down, up. Back down, up. Good, relax. How's that pain?
No.
No pain at all?
I felt here, but it wasn't like the squat itself.
Okay. So there was more pain on the squat than it was on this. Okay. That's good. That allows us to literally check off tendinopathy. So under more load, she experienced less pain, which means we have a tracking issue and means that this can be fixed, right? Pretty easily. Well, easily, it's like some movements, but the therapy is going to change to more strengthening and realignment instead of doing isometric training. So we're in a good place at that. So now, what you need to do now is start doing the treatment part of it. So this exercise is to help with the internal and external rotation of the ankle, right? Which is a huge issue for what we're seeing right now with Crystal, right? And also with most people have the knee pain. So what we're going to do is take on either a band, have one of those rehab bands, a little longer elastic ones, but something, or even a towel, we put underneath the pad of your toe. Now, my mom never told me she loved me, so I like putting myself in pain. This is one of the ones that helps me get that affirmation. So I'm going to pull, keep tension on here. Now I'm going to drive my knee out as far as it can, keeping tension on this. I want to play tug of war. I don't want my hand to win, and my hand doesn't want my foot to win. Does that make sense? Okay? So I'm pulling out, both pull out. If I lose any stability here, this comes up, even a little bit. So again, under the pad of the foot, here. I'm pulling the band, towel, or elastic band out. I'm driving my knee. My heel needs to be in the same line as my toe. If my heel's going in, I'm cheating, and I'm not getting the same tension or feeling on there. But here, you should feel this, if you do this right, in your glute, okay? So right out here in your glute is where you're gonna feel this engage. We're gonna hold it for 10 seconds, okay? So we're doing 5 reps at 10 seconds, come back down to central, 5 reps at 10 seconds. On the 5th rep, what I like doing is doing fail one. So I like holding it 10 seconds. And after that, just keep going out, 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 and really challenging a range of motion out there. Okay, so now to help with our internal and external rotation, all right, this exercise, we're gonna make sure, one, the knee's in front of the hip. So bring your knee in closer, okay? Now, we wanna make sure this goes underneath the pad of the big toe, okay? All you do is take your hand here, add tension on it, so pull out that band, tension. Okay, now start driving your knee out. Can hold that for 10 seconds. You feel this in your glute?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. 10. I've hit me.
As well, I thought this would have brought back. I still have some in there, but guess not.
Could hit me a little bit. I don't mind. All right, so keep that tension. And that happens because the lack of mobility in the ankle, right, warrants that, right? So the more you do this, the more mobility you'll be able to get. So when you test it again, you have more of that internal rotation. So now drive that knee out, keep that tension on there. And I fight, so it's okay. I'm gonna be hitting face. 9, 10, good. Back in, good. And out again. So generally we do this for 5 reps, hold it for 10 seconds, right? Then the last one, just for shats and gaggles, I want you to go to failure. So once you drive that knee out as much as you can, keeping tension on. So hold it out, keep driving that knee out, 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 out. Good. So essentially we do want to see a failure. If there is a lack of failure sometimes, means we still have a lack of mobility in the ankle, right? But yeah, here you go. Keep taking that baby out. Push, 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 push. Go. You want to try to get that thing to pop, or at least hold it for 20 more seconds after your initial 10 seconds. So full on 30 seconds on the last rep and come back, okay? And just so we see how it looks like, give me the other side too as well. Use to pad that toe right there, up. And make sure this knee's right from the hip. There you go. Chest up, good. Hold out, now drive that knee out. Good. Where do you feel this now on this side? Same place?
Same place.
Now, it's important to see when we do these exercises, ask yourself the question, where do I feel it? I feel it, which means, are we engaging more with these muscles, right? Is there more engagement here on the top of the glute, or do you feel that engagement coming down to the side, right? Where is it getting weaker? Is my foot feeling a little more unstable? So start asking yourself that question. So when you go back to your injured side, can you answer those same questions? Or do you start answering those questions the more we do this? Which is an important part to see how your therapy is going. So you're ready to see here how much his knee is able to come outside the hip, right? This is a good track to see. This means you have good, healthy rotation here in the ankle outside. So now I want you to fail on this one. Take it out as far as possible, right? Basically, the hip's already almost open. See that line right there? So now keep moving it out, more, 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 more. That's good. It's on your pinky toe. There we go. So we would do this about 4 sets, right? 4 sets of 5, doing 20-second holds each. So for this next one, we're going to use my handsome self. So we saw in Crystal, we saw an internal intolerance, okay? Which means we need those muscles to fire going outside. So we're going to use a loop band, right? To kind of help with those muscles. So we're going to put the loop band around here. Now I want to make sure the band's not tighter than you're able to push out. So we want people to have the band to be right here, okay? The band, I want the band doing this to you. That does nothing for you. We want to put the band right over our knees, above our knees. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay? Feet shoulders apart. I want you to push out. See, here's the difference, right? Watch my knees pushing out. My knees are now tracking in between my big toe and index toe. That's what it's called. All right, so you'll push your knees out. You're going to squat down to parallel, pushing out, hold, 1, 2, 3, and up. Now, if there's still pain doing this after we've done the other exercises, what we're going to do is go to where there's no pain. We're going to come here. There's no pain there. Come up. And keep challenging that while driving your knees out. Knees never come in, okay? Again, the band has to be strong enough just to allow you to get to shoulder distance apart. Down and up. So do this for 3 sets of 15 reps. Okay, and again, come down, hold, 1, 2, 3, and up. Push out, down, 1, 2, 3, and up. It's like our regular squats. You should have pressure through the big toe, pinky toe, and heel. For this next one, we're gonna work on the internal and external rotation of the ankles. So for this, you can use either a roller like this, a yoga block, a book, use someone's dog, borrow the neighbor's baby, whatever you want to use. But you want something, you can squeeze your heels into it like Dorsey from The Wizard of Oz, if you can get that reference. So we're gonna put our feet straight like this. We're gonna squeeze as hard as we can into this block, okay? Now, what I wanna do is I wanna explode up and come down slow. Explode up, come down slow. I'm gonna do 3 sets of 20 of these. Now, the part of doing this, important part is that you need to be able to have control, right? Your calves don't work like your biceps. Biceps like slow and controlled muscle movement. Your calves are quick twitch muscle fibers. So for you to really get this working, we need to inhibit that, right? And your ankles, when we jump, when we run, your ankles rotate like this. The ankles aren't always stable. They're rotating in and out, right? If they don't rotate, that's where you start getting that knee pain, because now your knee's forced to rotate, your knee doesn't want to rotate. So the ankles rotate so the knee doesn't have to. The knee can stay straight as possible, okay? So squeezing in through the heels as hard as you can, coming up and down, up and down, up and down. So for this next one, we're gonna do an isolation of the hip, okay? Crystal was feeling a pinching right here in the hip flexor, right in the sacrum. So we're gonna create some gaps in that for her and stabilize the spine and the hip. A lot of times, when you get that knee pain, right, especially it's coming from here, we're gonna pull off from the hip flexor, coming down, and the tightness from the back of the hip to the IT band. So we're gonna separate that, we're gonna stabilize that so the knee doesn't wanna come in. So the first we need is an anchor point and get a monster band like this. I'm gonna put my foot inside the monster band, and I'm gonna put it right inside that hip. Right inside that groove in your hip, right underneath the hip, or shift it right underneath your butt cheek. We're gonna come a little bit forward, not just right to the side, forward and up, then to the side. So now my butt's in line with the ball. So I'm gonna take a knee on the opposite knee, and this foot's gonna be up. Here's what's important. Your foot is straight here, your knee is right in front of your hip, okay? Now we're gonna hold this for 10 seconds, going forward, chest up, squeezing the opposite butt cheek, all right? The whole time this band is pulling, your leg is now forced to stabilize, your hip being forced to stabilize, and it's fighting all the time. So you should get a good burn on this. After 10 seconds, we're gonna drop down as low as you can go. Drop all the way down to the floor, relax the body. Every exhale, sink more and more into the ground. Down for 10 seconds. Again, drive up. And now we're gonna pull this knee across here. Again, if your knee could go to the floor, take it to the floor. If not, do what I'm doing, kind of tight. So helping this band now is pulling, this knee's coming in, the muscles want to stabilize going out. Do this 3 times in a row, 10 seconds each. So right now, I go back to the beginning, 10 seconds. Here, drive forward, breathing, foot in front of the knee, knees in front of the hip, then 10 seconds, drop again, and rinse, wash, and repeat. As you guys seen, knee pain is not the death of you. So, talking about knee pain is often the symptom, not the issue, right? So we look below and above the knee to check to see where the issue lies. So go through this video, share this video, like it, subscribe, go to my webpage, TRU Training. You drop the E because you drop excuses, truetraining.net. Go on my Instagram, true_training, and go to my OnlyFans. I'm joking. I'm married. I'll be killed. But if you enjoy it, share it. Come join me for my one-on-one programs, online, in person. We do rehab, sports performance, weight loss, everything. I'm also a certified nutritionist as well. So whatever you need, we got you online, whether in New York, California, Great Britain, India, we got you.